In 1919, Hobart Manufacturing built a mixer so over-engineered it served on U.S. Navy battleships. All metal gears, over 25 pounds of machine, designed to outlast its owner. That mixer became the KitchenAid you just paid $400 for. Same iconic shape. But in 1986, Whirlpool quietly hollowed out everything behind that shell, and what they changed inside is the reason your brand new mixer is already half dead. Hobart Manufacturing's first stand mixer arrived at a time when American kitchens were built to last, and so were the machines inside them. The original 1919 mixer weighed in at more than 25 pounds, a solid mass of cast iron and steel that set it apart from anything else on the market. Every critical part, from the gear train to the outer housing, was engineered from metal, echoing the standards found in commercial bakeries and naval galleys. Professional bakers adopted these machines not for their looks, but for their ability to run batch after batch without faltering. The all-metal design absorbed vibration, kept gears aligned under heavy loads, and shrugged off the heat and stress of daily bread production. Inside, the gear train was a study in over-engineering, steel-on-steel contact, precision machined tolerances, and a drive system modeled after industrial equipment. These mixers were so robust that stories circulated of them surviving decades in bakery basements or riding out storms at sea on Navy ships. The sheer weight alone, over 25 pounds, spoke to the density of materials and the absence of cost-cutting. For decades, the silhouette of the KitchenAid wasn't just a design statement, it was a signal to anyone who worked with dough that this was a machine built for the long haul. The Hobart era established a gold standard. A mixer was a tool for professionals, engineered to outlast trends and owners alike. By January 1986, KitchenAid changed hands in a deal worth more than $150 million, placing the iconic mixer under the control of Whirlpool Corporation. The acquisition was not just a financial transaction, it was a strategic move for Whirlpool, a company known for mass-market appliances and relentless cost management. Analysts at the time estimated the final price could have reached as high as $170 million, reflecting the value Whirlpool saw in KitchenAid's reputation and market reach. On the surface, little changed. The familiar silhouette remained on kitchen counters. The color palette expanded. Marketing continued to lean on the legacy of commercial-grade reliability. But inside the corporate offices, priorities shifted. Whirlpool's leadership brought a new approach, one shaped by the pressures of large-scale manufacturing and the demands of quarterly earnings. The mixer was now a product line in a vast portfolio, expected to deliver strong margins and consistent profits. Design reviews began to focus on internal cost structures. While the external casing and the iconic planetary mixing action stayed largely untouched, engineers were tasked with finding efficiencies deep inside the machine. Every component was scrutinized for savings, materials, suppliers, assembly steps. The goal was clear: preserve the look and feel that customers expected, while quietly reducing the cost to build each unit. This internal realignment set the stage for changes that would eventually reach the heart of the mixer's engineering, with consequences that only became visible years later, when owners and repair technicians started to notice what had been left behind. Inside every modern KitchenAid Artisan mixer, there's a single part that quietly determines the lifespan of the whole machine: the nylon worm gear. Unlike the rest of the gear train, this gear is intentionally made from a soft polymer. Its job isn't just to transmit force, it's designed to fail first. When the bowl jams or the dough gets too dense, the nylon teeth are supposed to strip away, stopping the mixer before the motor burns out. On paper, this sounds like smart engineering, a mechanical fuse that protects the most expensive component. But in practice, it means that repeated breakdowns are built into the design. Each time the gear fails, the mixer grinds to a halt. Fixing it isn't a quick swap. The entire housing has to be split open, the drive system disassembled, and the shredded gear dug out of a greasy cavity. Even for a seasoned repair technician, replacing the nylon follower means a full teardown, not a casual repair. For home bakers, this engineered weak point turns a $400 mixer into a recurring project, not a set-and-forget tool. The result is a cycle: bake, break, disassemble, repeat. On the box, the numbers seem reassuring: 325 watts for the Artisan, 275 watts for the Classic. These figures are printed in bold, inviting the assumption that more power means more performance. Yet wattage tells only part of the story. In the lab, testing engineers use a dynamometer to measure not just electrical input, but the actual torque delivered to the mixing bowl. The results are revealing. Despite the higher wattage, the Artisan model's torque, under load, often falls short of expectations, especially when faced with dense dough. The reason is simple. Wattage measures energy consumed, not the force transmitted to the dough hook. Factors like gear ratios, motor design, and thermal management all influence how much usable torque reaches the bowl. Competing brands may advertise even higher wattage, sometimes 600 or 800 watts, but without context, these numbers are marketing shorthand, not a guarantee of real-world power. The gap between label and performance shifts the blame away from the user. When a mixer stalls or struggles, it is not a failure of technique, but a mismatch between what's promised and what's delivered. The dynamometer graph makes this plain. Torque, not wattage, is what matters in the kitchen. Number 17, meatloaf with tomato glaze and green beans. Inside the mixer, the factory-applied grease is supposed to be a silent guardian, keeping gears moving smoothly and protecting against wear. KitchenAid promotes this lubricant as a lifetime solution, but repair technicians see a different story play out on their benches. The original grease is petroleum-based, chosen for its low cost and basic compatibility with metal and plastic parts. Over time, especially during repeated heavy mixing, this grease starts to break down. Heat from the motor and friction inside the gear case causes the oil to separate and seep out, leaving behind a sticky residue and dry spots on critical gear teeth. Once the lubricant thins or migrates, metal parts lose their protective buffer. Symptoms show up as grinding noises, sluggish performance, or even visible oil leaking from the mixer seams. Service records and technician interviews point to a pattern. Mixers that have their original grease replaced with a modern synthetic alternative run cooler, leak less, and show less internal wear after years of use. For owners willing to open the case and swap out the petroleum grease, the improvement is immediate: quieter operation, smoother mixing, and a gearbox that holds up under stress. The so-called lifetime claim, in practice, often means the lifetime of the first round of heavy baking, not the decades-long service many expect. For those who want their mixer to last, a synthetic re-grease is one of the simplest, most effective upgrades available. A repair technician flips through service logs, each entry a tally against the promise of durability. One logbook shows a KitchenAid Artisan returned for its second worm gear replacement in under 5 years. The owner paid nearly $200 across 2 visits, more than half the price of a new mixer, just to keep the original running. For comparison, a used Hobart-built KitchenAid found at an estate sale for under $150 still mixes weekly after 3 decades with only a fresh cord and a dab of grease. Vintage owners share receipts from the 1980s and the 1990s, some machines logging 40 years of use without a major breakdown. The technician shakes his head at the contrast. Modern mixers cycle through repairs, while their all-metal ancestors quietly outlast them. The cost of keeping a new mixer alive can outpace its purchase price, a reality that is well documented in service records and kitchen drawers alike. For bakers who need more than a decorative appliance, 2 names come up again and again: Ankarsrum and Bosch. The Swedish-made Ankarsrum Assistant delivers 600 watts of power to a 7.4-quart stainless steel bowl. Its rotating bowl design keeps dough moving smoothly and gives the motor a break, even during marathon bread sessions. In side-by-side trials, the Ankarsrum kneads heavy, high-hydration doughs for half an hour without overheating or stalling, a feat that leaves most tilt-head mixers behind. The Bosch Universal Plus takes another approach, pairing an 800-watt motor with a 6.5-quart bowl and a unique gear-driven arm. While the Bosch is lighter and more compact, it still powers through dense rye and whole wheat batches that would jam a standard KitchenAid. Experienced bakers demonstrate both machines handling 6-pound doughs with ease, showing what endurance looks like when engineering isn't compromised for appearance or price point. Today's KitchenAid Artisan mixers rely on plastic parts and nylon gears, engineering choices that sacrifice durability for cost despite the price tag. For serious bakers, the legacy of Hobart-built longevity lives on in vintage machines and select commercial alternatives. The badge may endure, but the standard has changed.